Let's see. Kevin Mazure from Thumb Electric. Please come up whenever you're ready.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Kevin Mazure. I'm the legal and compliance engineer for Thumb Electric Cooperative. Very aptly named, we're electric cooperative located in the Thumb of Michigan. I would like to thank you guys for giving me the time to speak this morning. I'd like to thank Representative Green for inviting me and Chair Wenzel for opening the floor for me. Now, our goal here is to discuss some vegetation management goals, and we would like to promote administrative efficiency for our tree trimming programs by codifying what we feel is already industry best practices. At the end of the day, our goal is to provide safe, reliable, and affordable power, and vegetation management is a big part of that. The first aspect is public safety. As Representative Green mentioned, we had a generational ice storm in northern Michigan. The largest issue we had was ice accumulating on the branches, falling on lines, knocking out power, blocking roads. A lot of the restoration time involved with repairing that system was getting rid of the trees that fell on the system in the first place. Now, the best way to prevent that is to trim trees so it doesn't happen to begin with. It's a smaller risk here in Michigan, but fire risk is also a very concerning thing when it comes to trees falling on power lines. It's very easy for a dead branch to catch fire on energized lines, and it's a very risky proposition for homeowners, especially because the service drop goes right to their house. Now, the next aspect we'd like to talk about is reliability. As Representative Green mentioned before, reliability is a major issue here. Michigan consistently ranks poorly in system average interruptions, customer average interruptions, and restoration times. A lot of this is due to our large paths of forested areas that power lines cross on. For example, at Thumb Electric Cooperative, we have 12,000 members and over 2,000 miles of power lines. Quick math says that's roughly 6 members per mile of power line. If you think about how many people are in this room, that would be tens of miles of people that we'd have in our system. Realistically, what this means we have fewer crews for a larger area. The more proactive we are trimming trees, the less outages we have, and the quicker we can restore the ones that do occur. Now, the last one goes hand in hand, is cost efficiency. Much like operating a vehicle, it is much cheaper to change your oil and rotate your tires than it is to replace an engine and replace your tires every time they go bad. The longer we have cycles of vegetation management, the lower outages we have, the less time we spend in a storm situation. It's a lot cheaper to pay straight time than overtime. It's a lot more practical to have crews available Monday through Friday during the week than it is on a Saturday night when the wind blows. Now, these three things, safety, reliability, and affordability, all go hand in hand with our regulatory compliance that we have to have. As a co-op, we have to have different vegetation management standards from both the federal and the state government. We have to comply with the National Electric Safety Code, the Michigan Public Service Commission, and any other 3 to 4 letter agencies that you guys can think of. Tree trimming is our most cited corrective action for our worst performing circuits. So when we submit our data and say, here's what we're doing poorly, the biggest solution that we have to offer is a more robust tree trimming program. And the last part we have is the community engagement, and this is where the House bill comes in. When we do vegetation management, we spend a lot of time educating our members, educating the landowners on why this is important. But really, the standards that we have in place right now use words like reliable, safe, practicable. We in the industry have determined that to be roughly 15 feet that we need to perform things like safety and reliability. Now, when we're educating landowners and households and et cetera, when they see reasonable, their interpretation might be much different than ours. So having the state of Michigan agree with us and saying this is the best solution moving forward, that would help us day to day at the co-op, and that would help us reduce cost, promote reliability, promote safety. This is starting to become an issue in other states. For example, California has a regulation that they can't have anywhere closer than 18 inches the tree from the line. Well, if a tree grows, say 3 feet a year, and your cycle of vegetation management is 5 years per circuit, you get 15 feet. So depending on their cycles, they will trim back accordingly. And what we would like to do here in Michigan is promote that same thing. Thank you everybody for their time. I'd be happy to answer any questions that you may have.
Representative Bagul has a question.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I don't know if you know the answer to this. Who actually makes the decision on the tree gets trimmed, the tree gets removed? What's the homeowner has any say in this at all?
Yes, it's a very interactive process. So we, Outset Self with the co-op will go out there first, explain, hey, this is our lines, this is our program. Our contractor will then go out there next to mark the appropriate trees. It's a very complex system of a spray paint can and an X on the trees that would like to get removed. The homeowner signs an agreement, and then we go through. It's wildly different homeowner to homeowner. Some of them want us to clear cut their whole property if we allow them to. Other words, don't want to take us an inch. So what this does is gives us a standard for everybody that we can go to each homeowner and say, this is what we're doing and why and how far we need.
So who has the ultimate say?
The ultimate say right now is a big gray area, and that's what we're trying to determine.
Okay.
Since our system is so old, we operate on a lot of prescriptive easements that we have for our power lines, and those tend to fall back to the standard, which is reliable, safe, practicable, without any hard data. The easements we do have say 30 feet, which are 15 feet from each side of the conductor.
If I could, Madam Chair, one more question. Compensation? Is there any compensation for the homeowners that are going to have these trees removed, or how's that work?
Oftentimes there's not. We're a nonprofit cooperative, so every time we give compensation to one of our members, we're essentially taking it from the pockets of their neighbors. A lot of times, if there is sort of compensation, it involves planting new trees in a different location that will not interfere with the power lines.
Okay, thank you.
Chair recognizes Representative Brixey.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So how would, if this is enacted, how would the rules that get promulgated as a result be different than what the current rules are?
I would expect not much change at all. It just gives us another tool for education more than anything. To be able to point to a statute that says the state of Michigan agrees that 15 feet is a good standard to have. It allows us to kind of ease tensions with members when it comes to certain aspects of the tree trimming program.
So what does it say currently?
Currently, there is no actual standard. It's just safe, reliable, very vague.
Chair recognizes Representative Preston.
Thank you, Chair. Great bill. Glad to support it. Long overdue, I think. Trees and squirrels, two of the biggest things that we deal with. Are you advocating at all for a vegetation management cycle? NRECA has got like a 5-year cycle that they're looking to go towards. I mean, is there thought of integrating something like that into this package to try to advocate for an aggressive cycle that keeps that 15-foot right-of-way cleared?
Realistically, the best thing for our vegetation cycles is to enact the 15 feet, because if we can push it back to the problem areas that we have trouble working with the homeowners, then we need to go there less frequently, and it kind of corrects itself.
All right. Well, thank you. We all know how important tree trimming is, and it's a key component to grid reliability, which we talk a lot about on this committee. I once had a friend visit me. I live pretty rurally, and we have a lot of tree trimming going on around our power lines, a lot of trees, thankfully. And she said to me, "Oh my gosh, she was from a bigger city. She said, how do you get the trees to grow around the lines like that?" And so maybe that's what we need. Maybe that's going to fix it all, is to figure out how to get trees to grow around the lines. But until then, tree trimming is very important, and we thank you for being here today.
Thank you.